Saturday night's Gator Racing news and Palladium-Times kickoff at Oswego Speedway would see time trials help to line up the initial order. And in the Pathfinder Bank SBS Series division, no surprise, defending track champion Mike Bond would go on to set fast time with a lap of 19.395 seconds. He would lead Andrew Schartner, Craig Harris, Tim Barbeau, and Rob Pullen as the 5 fastest cars on the speedway. In the super modified division, 31 cars in attendance to qualify. And again, not a surprise at the top of the qualifying sheets, it was Pat Lavery. In the Double Deuce Racing number 22 machine, he had run 16.5 during the week of testing. He gets down to a 16.445 ahead of Michael Barnes, Randy Ritzkus, Otto Sitterly, and Dave Danzer. Qualifying heat races would then be the order of the day, and it was Dave Gruhl, Jerry Curran, and Joe Gosick getting heat race wins in the Novellas Super Modified division. The top 4, of course, in each heat would move to the redraw. J.J. Andrews, Mark Castilla, as well as Jack Patrick would get heat race wins in the SBS division. 12 lucky young race fans got to help the drivers out with the redraw on the Longley Harborfest Dodge on the front straightaway, and it would be Brian Sobis and Nate Sitterly drawing the number 1 position for the upcoming feature events. Oswego Speedway, home of the super modifieds known as the Steel Palace. Saturday, May 26th, it's a Memorial Day weekend triple header honoring Jimmy Champagne, Tony White, and Richie Evans. Don't miss defending race winners Randy Ritzkus, Chuck Hosfeld, and Mike Bond as they take on the Steel Palace in one of the biggest weekends in auto racing. For more information, visit OswegoSpeedway.com. Oswego Speedway, Memorial Day weekend triple header. Presented by Mitchell Speedway Press. Featuring the Race of Champions Modified. Saturday, May 26th. Kids 16 and under, free. 8 adult. Welcome back to Inside Oswego Speedway. The start of the Pathfinder Bank SBS feature was nothing but trouble for your quick timer and defending champion Mike Bond as they would break a rear suspension piece in the Ramada Inn number 26 machine. Bond would lose 11 laps in the pits. He would return to the action to finish 18th overall. Meanwhile, out onto the speedway, Nate Sitterly and Mark Castilla would bring the Pathfinder Bank SBS field to green. And on the initial start, it was Sitterly edging out in front, but behind him there was trouble. The 87 machine of Brian Haynes locks up going into corner number 1. He would tag the inside hub rail, ending his night. Josh Kerr, a rookie in the 8 machine, would spin as well. He would be able to rejoin the field. Later on, after the restart, J.J. Andrews, who had 1 career SBS feature win coming into the night, makes the low side move on Sitterly into corner number 1 to take the race lead on lap number 2. And with Andrews checking out in front, it was Andrew Schartner making the moves to the inside in the first turn this time. Under Andrews' teammate Jason Simmons coming out of corner number 2, Schartner was quickly moving through the field. Simmons, however, would run into troubles coming down the back straightaway, battling with A.J. Burness in the 04 of Craig Harris. Simmons loses it all on his own into the 3rd corner. Cameron Rowe, the 77, with nowhere to go. Brad Haynes and Dalton Doyle would also be involved as you get a look here at the replay in corner number 3. But this one was all Jay Andrews from start to finish. He led 29 of the laps, streaking across the line in the team tap-out, car number 93, for his 2nd career Pathfinder Bank SBS Series feature win. Patrick, Castilla, Schartner, and Harris would round out the top 5 in the first feature event of the season. Andrew's certainly a happy guy in victory lane, doing his Bob Gutermount impersonation down into corner number 3. A throng of fans very happy to welcome Jay to Chris Nelson Insurance victory lane at Oswego Speedway.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I had no idea, Dan. I have no idea. Get over here. Come here. Good job. Oh, look at that. That's the little brother I always wanted.
Long off season for you. New team, new atmosphere, new attitude. Tell us about your race tonight. You ended up in victory lane, but it wasn't easy.
didn't see anybody. I don't know if anybody was close. This car was so freaking nailed, I can't stand it. Anybody could have drove that car. I go into turn and did exactly what I needed it to do. I didn't get thinking and screw up like I almost did in the heat. It's just a very, very happy day. I can't believe it.
JJ, Jason Simmons, and the entire Team Tap Out clan very happy to be back in Oswego Speedway victory lane. Andrews even stormed the Cam's New York Pizzeria starter stand for the second time in his career. Looking at the Pathfinder Bank SBS Series standings, and Andrews holds the point over Patrick, Castilla, Shartner, and Craig Harris. In the Novella Super Modified Division, 25 cars would come down to the green flag, including Jessica Zemkin, who would become just the second female to start a Novella Super Modified feature at Oswego Speedway. Brian Sobis and Dave Gruhl would bring the field to green, with Gruhl jumping out in front early on in the 50 machine. But it was the other 50, the 50M of Michael Muldoon, bringing out the race's first caution. With a flat right rear tire, he would head pit side. At the same time, so would defending track champion Joe Gosick. Gosick would return for a couple of laps, but would ultimately call it a night in the 00. Once the race got back underway, Otto Sitterly, who started all the way back in position number 12, started to make his moves on the high side of the speedway, picking his way around the 60 of Brian Sobis for position number 7. With Gruhl out in front and Davey Hamilton running second, Michael Barnes and Joey Payne were right there on their heels until Barnes loops it into corner number 1. Joey Payne in the Muldoon number 20 machine with nowhere to go did a great job to get himself set up to get by, but unfortunately for Payne, Barnes would slide back and contact was made. Back underway, and Sitterly back to picking his way through the field. This time he pokes his way underneath the 52 of Dave Danzer coming out of corner number 4. Sitterly shoves it down in there into corner number 1. They make a little bit of contact. Danzer would push way high in the groove. He slid back to position number 6 and later on would stop on the racetrack and call it a night. Sitterly's charge would not end there. Next he draws in the number 6 machine of Davey Hamilton. Hamilton, just like Danzer, pushes up just enough in between 3 and 4, leaving that low lane open for Sitterly. Your defending Budweiser International Classic champion moves into the runner-up spot. And just a few laps later, after a caution for debris in corner number 2, Sitterly would draw a bead on the 50 of Gruhl. And Gruhl, who had a flat left front tire going down the back straightaway, pushes high once again into corner number 3. Sitterly nearly loses it, making that move for the race lead. He would take the point with just 4 laps to go. Hamilton in the 6 car would follow through for the runner-up spot. And just as they cross the stripe, there's trouble in corner number 1 involving Stephen Gioia, Ray Graham, Bobby Haynes Jr., and the 5 of Tim Devendorf. Looking at the replay, you can see Sean Muldoon dives to the inside of Graham, makes contact with the 44, and that causes the 4-car jingle into corner number 1. The race would get back underway with 2 to go, and it was clear nobody had anything for Otto Sitterly. Turning a fast time of 16.8 in this one, he gets the win over Hamilton. Brian Sobis, Dave Gruhl, and Jeff Abold in car number 05 as Sitterly joins his teammate Davey Hamilton in Chris Nelson Insurance victory lane.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. I was really nervous early today. Actually, for the last week, everybody's really fast. Got a new tire, and probably all the cars are going faster than they should be. We don't need to be going, 16.4, 16.5. But it's all about competition. Doesn't matter how fast you're going, as long as everybody can pass and race one another. So a little bit concerned about that, but I think they fell off some during the night. Feature time, I think the times were a little slower. And that's what you need to race good with each other. You don't need all that speed.
This one wasn't a gift by any means. You started 12th, methodically worked your way up through the pack early, and it took the inside lane over 3 to get by David Gruhl. Take us through that pass for the lead.
Well, David had a flat left front tire, and when I was behind him the first pass, I saw that it was going down, and I'm sure that dampened the performance of his car. And I got him once, and then that yellow come out. And the second time, I wasn't going to mess around because I figured if the caution come out again with a couple to go, he could hold on with 2 tires probably. So I sort of made a bonsai pass there, but it was open. He had a flat tire, so it wouldn't turn for him out of 2. So I tried my darndest to beat him down into 3.
Excellent start to the year to the Dakota team. Tell us about having both cars in the top two, the work that goes into it, and how it felt to have Davey in second.
Well, I mean, that was a really nice thing. I would have liked to have seen him get up there, and get the win. But, once we got up that far and I saw him working on David and I see he just come off the bottom, I wasn't going to wait. I waited quite a bit for David Danzer. I waited and waited and waited, tried to be patient, and he slipped one time out of 4, and I got a late run on him down here in 1, and I tried to stay off him for all I was worth, and I hit that drain, and I mean, we just barely touched. So, I mean, I don't know, he sort of threw his arms up at me, but, I mean, the cars are so even, you can't wait. If you're going to wait, you're going to finish 10th.
The race's final rundown would show Ray Graham, Sean Goslin, Tim Snyder, Randy Ritzkes, and Pat Lavery in the top 10. Looking at the Novella Super Modified Series standings, and it's Sitterly, Hamilton, Gruhl, Brian Sobis, and Jeff Abold sitting in the top 5 after race number 1. Coming up next at the Speedway, it's the Mitchell Speedway Press Memorial on Saturday, May 26th at 4 p.m. featuring the Race of Champions Modifieds. And we had a chance to sit down with Andy Harpel at the Gator Racing News Motorsports Expo back in March.
Of course, we have a huge history there at the racetrack, and always look forward to coming back to the Steel Palace. Memorial Day weekend we get going with the annual Richie Evans Memorial Race, and we're really looking forward to it. It's always for us, the marquee events on our schedule. We've made some pretty substantial changes this year with our asphalt modified program, and everything seems really positive. So we're looking forward to it. We're going to be coming back in July for the Race Champions weekend again, and everything really looks good.